about the time and temperature abuse. What actually this time and temperature is? Time temperature abuse is what happens when potentially hazardous foods are left in the temperature danger zone for too long. The temperature danger zone is the temperature range in which harmful microbiological organisms grow, produce most rapidly. So here I am giving you just the concept of the time and temperature abuse. Basically, this is that temperature which is when we save the food in our freezers or refrigerators and we do not take care for the proper temperatures, and the food goes to the danger zone, that it can affect our food safety as well. In coming slide, I will also explain you that what those danger zones are and what temperature we should maintain to keep our food safe. Prevention. Now we will talk about the prevention, that how we can prevent our food from the contaminations. To understand the importance of the prevention, just watch this video.
After air and water, food is the most urgent basic human need of every person. Access to enough safe and nutritious food is a right, not a privilege. One of the most important tasks of every government is to ensure that food is safe for consumers. National food control systems protect your health from foodborne diseases and ensure fair practices in the food trade. FAO and WHO have developed the Food Control System Assessment Tool to help governments evaluate the performance of their food control system and plan for the future. The tool is based on Codex Alimentarius guidelines and international health regulations. This is the only tool to assess national food control systems in a comprehensive way by looking at the whole food chain, from production to distribution, retail market, and consumption. The assessment process involves gathering and reviewing evidence from available sources and relies on the active participation from all public and private sector stakeholders.
À l'aide de cet outil, nous avons évalué notre système national de contrôle des aliments. Nous connaissons maintenant les domaines exacts dans lesquels nous devons investir et développer nos capacités.
We build stakeholder confidence domestically and internationally, opening new markets and improving safe trade.
Collectively, we increased our knowledge on systematic approaches and improved the way we collaborate all together.
This tool provides a clear path for governments to identify national priorities for improvement and target investments. Keeping track of progress is a clear signal of transparency, accountability, and trust. The FAO-WHO Food Control System Assessment Tool, a clearer way forward for every country.
Now, we will talk about the key obligation of the food operators. We know that the food operators, which are globally managing the food chains, they have some obligation as international law. So, according to the European Union's General Food Law, the key obligation of food handling businesses are safety. First, they should ensure that do not sell unsafe food. This is their first priority, obligation or duty. They should not sell unsafe food to their customers or consumer. Responsibilities. The food business is responsible for the food it transports, stores, and sells. So all responsibilities goes to the food operators. Traceabilities. All suppliers and consignees must be identifiable. So the food operator should make a system that they should be able to trace all supplies which they have been given to them, and what all those they have sent to their customer, they must have a complete record with them. Transparency. Relevant authorities must be informed if food that the operator transports, stores, or sells is not safe, because it is the question of the human health and human life. So they should not violate the legal obligations. Emergency. Food believed to be unsafe must be withdrawn immediately. So it should be done at emergency steps that all unsafe food should be withdrawn immediately without wasting of any time because it can affect the health of people. Prevention. Operators must identify and critical points in their processes, apply controls, and review them regularly. So this is also one of the most important obligation of all the food operators, that they should assess all the food contaminations and make policies and strategies to control them. Cooperation. Cooperate with relevant authorities to reduce risk to the food safety. How we can ensure the prevention? Number one, cross contaminations, personal hygiene, storing food, receiving food, storing food, then cleaning, sanitizing, and pest control. These are the strategies we can uh, take to prevent the food from the contaminations. So, how we can ensure cross contamination should not happen? Number one, we should separate the equipment, use separate equipment for different types of the food. Then prepare food at different times. Prepare raw meat, seafood, and poultry at different times when the other items from these. Clean and sanitize. Clean and sanitize all work surfaces, equipment, and utensils after each task to ensure that cross contamination should not happen. Then how we can make sure that our food is safe through personal hygiene? Good personal hygiene includes maintaining personal cleanliness, wearing proper work attire, work dress whenever you are working with the food, like if you are preparing the food or storing the food or processing the food, you should need to wear the proper attire as per your organizational policy. Following hygienic hand practices, avoiding unsanitary habits and action, like you should avoid the smoking in the food process areas or any other unsanitary habits like dirty hands or etc. Maintaining good health. So all food operators should ensure that their health is properly and well maintained. Reporting illnesses. This is important step, that whenever some person see that someone is sick through the due to the food contamination, he should report immediately the illness of that person. Glove use. Another step or another measure which we can take to ensure our food is safe. Single use gloves used for handling food must never be used in place of hand washing, must never be washed and reused, must fit properly. So these are the practices which you need to ensure once using the gloves, that you should not wash the gloves only, and make sure that your hands should also be washed properly if you are wearing the gloves. So you should not wear the reused gloves, and it should be properly fit. When to change gloves? As soon as they become soiled or torn, they must be changed. Before beginning a different task, you should not use one type of the gloves for the different types of the tasks. After handling raw meat, seafood, or poultry, and before handling ready to eat food, the gloves must be changed. Eating and drinking policy. This is also important and must be ensured to ensure the proper safety of your food, that you should have a proper eating and drinking policy, because due to this eating and drinking wrong practices, the contamination can be added into the food. So food handler must not eat, drink, smoke, or chew gums or tobacco while working. When preparing or serving food, working in the food preparations, working in areas used to clean utensils and equipment. Prevention. Storing food. How the food must be stored in a safe manner. All food must have a label that includes name of the food, date by which it should be sold, eaten, or thrown out. Discard food that has passed the manufacturer's expiration date. This is important to make sure that you only sell the safe food to your customers. Ready to eat food that was prepared in house can be stored for 3 days at 41 Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius or lower, must be thrown out after 3 days. Though, so if your food is not stored under 5 degrees centigrade, which is a temperature abuse, then you should not even wait for the 3 days. But if you have stored them under 5 degrees centigrades and ensured that this is safe, then you can save them for the 3 days. After that, you should withdraw. Prevention receiving food. What you should ensure in prevention while receiving the food. What do you check for when receiving food? Number one, food quality. You must check it when you receive the food. Then, food brand must be checked. Then, correct labeling with expiring date, proper appearance, and proper temperature of the food in case of stuffed food. More things you should ensure to make sure that food is safe which you received, that the box containers and canned food must be labeled and not have bulky pierced rust lids that are popped, seal problem or leaks. So because if these types of the cans or containers are damaged, they may be contaminated and unsafe for consumption. How the prevention is ensured in storing food. Put food away in a certain orders, chilled, frozen, and dry. So every food must be stored separately. Chilled must be separate, frozen and dry must be separate. What more practices you can ensure to prevent the food from getting unsafe while storing food? A good storage area has refrigerators, freezers, and dry storage at the correct temperatures. You need to ensure the proper temperature of the food storage, refrigerators, and freezers that are not overloaded. This is again a good practice. A well maintained, dry, cool, clean, well lit, ventilated dry storage must be ensured while storing the food. Food 6 inches above the floor and 4 inches away from the walls. While you store the walls at aisles or shelves, you should ensure that it should be 6 inches above the floor and 4 inches away from the walls. Food separate from all cleaning chemicals and clothing closets as well. So, now we discuss the abuse of the temperature and time. So, when you need to ensure the food at safe zone, what you need to check the temperature of the food and storage area within a verified thermometer. First of all, you need to make sure that your checking devices must be verified. And store refrigerated food at 41 Fahrenheit 5 degrees centigrade or less. If the food is stored above than 5 degrees centigrade, then it will go into the danger zone and which is not safe for consumption. Store frozen food at minus 80 degrees centigrade or less. So this is a proper temperature for the frozen food. Store dry food between 50 to 70 Fahrenheit or 10 to 21 degrees Celsius. For all the dry food, you need to ensure that temperature should be 10 to 21 degrees Celsius. Store whole products at room temperature and cut products at 5 degrees centigrade. Document temperature readings for your refrigerators, freezers, and dry storage so that you should be able to know that whether your food is safe or not. So, for the prevention, what you need to ensure in cleaning and sanitizing. Clean and sanitized food handling equipment after every use. Sanitize hand contact surfaces such as taps or door handles to keep away from the cross contaminations. Use cleaning and sanitation chemicals according to the label instructions. Make sure all cleaners are in their original containers. Store chemicals and cleaning equipment separate from food and utensils, which is very important to make sure that your food should not be contaminated with the chemicals. So, what you need to make sure to keep the food safe from pest and rodent control, report defects in the building because if defects are there in the building and holes are there, then Pests and rodents can come through these holes and can contaminate your food. Keep an eye on the rodents. They are very fast moving, so it's important to keep your eyes open and check them if there is any possibility to come the rodents in your workplace. You should prevent them. Seal access points and openings. This is important to stop the entry of the insects and the rodents. Keep doors and windows closed or use screens. Inspect all deliveries closely. Maintain a well planned cleaning and schedule. Never food outside, because the logic behind that is, if you will consume the food outside of your workplace, then it is possible that on these pieces of that food which you throw out on the ground, there may attract some insects or rodents and they come into your site as well. Store food pest proof containers off the floor and away from walls. Rotate stock, maintain drains and water taps, and make regular inspection to ensure that your food is safe and um, uh, not affected by the pests and rodents, etc. Now we will discuss the last and the third part, the management of the food, how we can improve the food safety through the management. So food safety management and hygiene practices for supermarkets. What you need to ensure while selecting the your facilities where you want to store your food items. Facility environment, number one. The location of the facility should be a safe environment and the site kept clear of garbage, harborage, and pests and stagnant water, which can affect your food. You need to ensure that these your facilities which you are selecting for your food storage facility must be free from all the garbages and harborage of the pests, etc., or stagnant water. Facility layout and design. The design and layout should provide adequate loading and unloading areas protected from rain and pests, and separate storage, processing, packing, etc. and areas. Construction in handling and storage area. Sufficient drainage, easy to clean, temperature control, ventilation, and power backup should be ensured into your facility where you want to keep your food stocked for selling. Equipment and containers used for handling or processing food should be designed, constructed, and located to ensure food safety. Enable adequate maintenance, cleaning, and good hygienic practices. Maintenance and cleaning procedures should be documented and record kept. Staff facilities. There should be adequate facilities for personal hygiene, including toilets and hand washing facilities with soap and hot and cold water of the portable quality. Staff may also need changing facilities to make sure that your food storage is safe. Cleaning and hygiene. There should be programs setting cleaning schedules, responsibilities, methods, equipments, and materials suitable for use on premises. Handling food and facilities for appropriate storage of the chemical used to prevent contamination of the raw and prepared food and packaged products, etc. Water quality. The water that is used for food production, cleaning, and in staff facilities should be of potable quality. Waste management. Procedures, facilities, and suitable equipment should be in place to ensure safe collection, storage, and disposal of the waste. Because waste can attract the rodents and the insects that it should. That's why it should be disposed properly. This should include maintenance of cleanliness in waste storage areas, prevention of the cross contamination of food and non food products, and prevention of the pests. Pest control is very important. We already talked about this, that pest can contaminate our food to a large extent that we should need to prevent them entering into our food. Pest control measures should include monitoring, identifying, controlling, and documentation of the pest infections and measures carried out. These activities should be done by trained personnel. Transport. Vehicles and containers used for transporting food and non-food products should be suitable for the purpose, kept in good condition, clean, and free of pests. Transport systems should prevent cross contamination of the food products from containers and non-food items and maintain suitable conditions such as temperatures and humidity that are appropriate for the products. Fire safety, it should be ensured to prevent heavy losses, because in food storage areas, some uh, uh, some flammable item may be there. So if accidentally there is a fire, it can damage to the whole site heavily. Training in food safety principles and practices should be provided for all employees according to their roles. So another practice which we can ensure to make our food managed and safe is inventory control. This is a useful tool as well. A key component in effective food management is inventory control. By keeping what and how much supplies are in hand, managers may plan for reordering and stocks. By keeping an eye on inventory, it is possible to note potential problems with pilferage and waste. For inventory to be effective, access to the storage area should be controlled. Carefully authorized requisitions required for removing goods from the storage and inventory levels monitored carefully. Importance of the record keeping. Another tool to make your food managed is the record keeping. To provide accurate information of food and supplies on hand, reduce spoilage risks, reduce the need for prolonged storage, and reduce over ordering, reduce overall cost, and reduce possible thefts. These are the benefits of the record keeping. Inventory management tools, that is valuing inventory, lost in, fast out, fast in, fast out, weighted average, and ABC method. These are the few tools which you can practice in your food chain stores to improve your food management. Valuing inventory, last in, first out. What is last in and first out? LIFO. All products counted are valued at first price paid during the accounting period. First in, first out. This is another tool to make sure that your inventory is valued. Products are valued at the last price paid during the accounting period. This method is used by operations that attempt to ensure that the oldest items in inventory are used first. Weighted average, the actual price paid for an item is multiplied by the number of the units on hand for a specific order. ABC method is another tool, a valued inventory tool. ABC analysis is widely used for unfinished goods, manufactured products, spare parts, components, finished items, and assembly items, etc. Item A, for example, in the ABC model of inventory control, items categorized under A are goods that register the highest value in terms of annual sale, that they should be sold first. Item B, these are the items that have a medium sale value. Item C, these items placed in this category have the lowest sale value. So they should be sold as per their category. The category A item should be sold first, then category B, and then category C. So now coming on to the food management standard, International Food Management Standard, ISO 22000 is the International Food Safety Standard. ISO 22000 is an internationally recognized standard that combines the ISO 9001 approach, which is a quality management standard, to food safety management and hazard assessment critical control points for the assurance of food safety at all levels. The standard maps out how an organization can demonstrate its ability to control safety hazards to ensure that food is safe. So, what are the benefits of implementation of ISO 22000, which is the most recognized food safety standard worldwide? You will achieve below mentioned benefits if your organization implements these standard in your workplaces. Number one, improved management and communication. This is the best benefit you will achieve through this standard. Assurance on quality, reliability, and safety. Decreased cost from withdrawals or recalls. Improved reputation and brand loyalty. More confidence in disclosures. Less foodborne diseases. Better quality and safe jobs in the food industry. Better utilization of the resources and more efficient food safety hazard control, systematic management of the prerequisite programs, valid basis for the taking decisions, control focused on priorities, and save resources by reduced duplication, better planning, less post process verification, development of a food safety management system. So these are all the benefits you can achieve and you can get if you make sure that your food is safe. And these are the internationally recognized standard due to which you can get many benefits. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for bearing me with this training. I hope you have understand the basic concept of the food and what is actually the safe food is. And then we also discussed what are the threats and risks and contamination to the food which can make our food unsafe, and what those practices are which can prevent ourselves from the contamination. And we also discussed some management tools as well, and the key obligation of the employers in food chain stores. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Take care.